So this is the last chapter. So I'm gonna discuss to you the all about in chapter 11, build a small network. So first, device selections for a small network. First is the cost. The cost of switch or a router is determined by its capacity and feature. The device capacity include the number of types of ports available and the backplane's speed. Other factors that impact the cost are network management capabilities, embedded security technologies, and optional advanced switching technologies. The expense of cable runs required to connect every device on the network must also be considered. Another key element affecting cost consideration is the amount of redundancy to incorporate into the network. Speed and type of ports interface. Choosing a number of types of ports on a router or switch is a critical decision. Newer computers built as 1 gigabyte INCS 10 gigabytes ports already included in some workstations and services. Expandability. Networking device come in both fixed and modular physical configurations. Fixed configuration have a specific number of type of ports interfaces. Modular devices have expansion slots that provides flexibility to add new modules as requirements evolve. Operating system features. Depending on the versions of the operating system, a network device can support certain features, services such as security, quality of service, voice over IP, layer 3 switching, networking addresses translations, and dynamic host configuration protocols. IP addressing for a small network. When implementing a small network, it is necessary to plan the IP addressing space. All hosts within a network must have unique address. The IP address scheme should be planned, documented, and maintained based on the type of device receiving the address. Example different type of devices that will factor into IP designs are end devices for users, service and peripherals, hosts that accessible from the internet and intermediary device. Common protocols. Most of the technicians work either small or large network will in some way be involved with the network protocols. Network protocols support the application and services used by employees in a small network. These network protocols comprise the fundamental toolset of network professional. Each of these network protocol define processes on either end of communication session. Types of message is syntax of messages, meaning of information fields, how messages are sent is expanded response, interaction within the next lower layer. Many companies have established a policy of using secure versions of these protocols whenever possible. These protocols are HTTPS, SFTP, and SSH. Protocols analysis. When trying to determine how to manage network traffic, especially as the network grows, it is important to understand the type of net traffic that is crossing the network, as well as the current traffic flow. If the types of traffic are unknown, a protocol analyzer will help identify the traffic and its source. To determine the traffic flow patterns, it is important to capture the traffic during peak utilization times to get a good representation of the different traffic types. Perform the capture on different network segments. Some of traffic will be local to a particular segment. Type of malware. Malware of malicious code or malcode is is short for malicious software. It's a code or software that is specifically designed to damage, disrupt, steal, or inflict bad or illegitimate action on data, hosts, or networks. Viruses, worms, and trojans horses are types of malware. Viruses. A computer virus is a type of malware that is propagated by inserting copy of itself into becoming part of another program. It spreads from one computer to another, leaving infections as it travels. Viruses can range severity from causing mildly annoying effects to damage data of a software and causing denial service conditions. Almost all viruses are attached to executable file, which means the virus was exists on a system but will not be active or able to spread until user runs open a malicious software file or program. Worms. Computer worms is similar viruses in they replicate functional copies of themselves and can cause the same type of damage. It contrasts to viruses which requires the spreading of infected host files. Worms are standalone software and do not require a host programs or human help to propagate. A worm does not need to attach a program to infect a host and enter the computer through a vulnerability in system. Worms take advantage of system features travels through the network unaided. Trojan horses is another type of malware named after wooden horse Greek used to infiltrate Troy. Hammer pieces of software that looks legitimate. Users are typically tricked into loading and executing it on their system. After it's active, it is achieve any number of attacks on the host from irritating the users, popping up windows or changing desktops, to damaging the host, deleting files, stealing data, or activating and spreading other malware such as virus. Trojan horses are also known to create backdoors to give malicious user access to the system. So password to protect a network device is important to use strong password. Here is standard guidelines to follow. So these are the uh, guidelines. Should be use at least 8 characters, 10 more characters. A longer password is better password. Make a password complex, include mix of uppercase and letters, numbers, symbols, and space if allowed. Avoid passwords repetition, conditionally words, number sequence, username, relative, relative or pets biological information such as birth dates, ID numbers, ancestor names, or easily identifiable pieces of information. Misspell password, for example, Smith, might, security. Those are the example password. So interpreting ping results command is effectively way test connectivity. Ping command uses the control message protocol. So IS ping indicators first is the question mark indicates receipt of ISP echo reply message, and then that indicates time expired while waiting for MC echo reply message. U an ICP unreachable message was received. Duplex operations. Data communication duplex refers to the direction of data transmissions between two devices. If the communication are restricted to exchange data is one direction at a time. This connection is called half duplex. Full duplex allows sending and receiving of data to happen simultaneously. Next is chapter 11, I build network. So this chapter is see it's in this chapter uh its important part of networks is design is reliability, scalability, and availability. The protocols analyzes enable network professionals quickly compile statistical informations, and then this analysis can be used a network technician to make a decisions to manage the traffic more efficient. Common protocols include DNS, Telnet, SMPT, HCS, HTTP, and FTP. These these protocols is include to the applications applications in this chapter. Next is Necessarily consider security threats, vulnerabilities, implementation all the networks. These include routers, switches, and user devices, even security devices that I discussed to you. Antivirus software can detect most viruses and many Trojan horses applications and prevent them from spreading in the network. And be careful of opening a web page, downloading anything or watching not appropriate can be uh, it can be harm to you. And always download a security for security. Authentication authorization in accounting AAA. The network security provides primary frameworks to set up access control on a network's devices. On a Cisco iOS devices, the shown versions commands can be used to verify the troubleshoot some of the basic hardware and software components. Boots process to view information for all networks interface on a router. The show IP interface brief command is used. Show IP interface briefs are also used to view more abbreviated output of show IP interface command. So in chapter 11 have a lot of coverage. There's a lot of topic here in chapter 11, but you will learn something in this chapter about the how to do a password, how to be a secure, and Cisco iOS configuration files such as status config and running config should be archived. These files can be saved in text files stored on the FTP server. Some models of routers also have a USB port and file can be backed up as a USB drive. Indeed, these files can be copied to a router switch from the FTP server or USB drive. So, this is all about in chapter 11, and that's all. Thank you.